So how'd you make out? What did you come up with regarding those unexpected events in your business? Well, let's take a look at what Chalmers has come up with. And then you can see in the chart, and this is a chart that you could have posted for your participants once the exercise is completed. It says managing for unexpected business events. And it gives us 5 different events. Event number 1 is the money from your business is stolen. Now, how could you plan for that, right? How could you anticipate on providing security for the money stored perhaps at your business? Well, here Chalmers gives us 4 different bullets on how you might do that. Notice number 1, put security bars on doors and windows, right? And if you know your community this can happen in that community. They probably see other businesses that have bars on their windows. Well, they ought to provide, on their doors and windows. They ought to also probably provide bars on their doors and windows. Make sure that all doors and windows have locks, right? Make sure that the facility and the premises are protected. Keep a cash box in a secure place, a locked box in a secure place, maybe that's hidden, that isn't obvious to people. Put money in a bank if it's over a certain amount. Is there a bank nearby that you can always make a bank run every day? And we certainly see that in our businesses here in Americas where small business owners are going to make deposits at the bank at least once a day, often, maybe sometimes multiple times a day, to have less cash on hand that could be stolen. The next event that they bring up is roads are washed out, so you're not able to get supplies. This is another common occurrence, particularly in Africa where you can have a rainy season. So what do you do if you're in the rainy season and the roads get washed out and you can't go get your supplies? You want to continue to produce the goods for your business so you have income. What are you going to do? How can you plan for that? Well, you can see number 1, you can increase the size of your inventory, right? Now, you're going to have to plan for how to store that inventory. What's the shelf life of that inventory? What's a good storage container to really protect that inventory, let's say from pests and rodents and that kind of thing? How are you going to protect it? You need to ask those questions. Diversify the product line, right? So you can sell product both in the dry season and the rainy season. So you can have income all year around. Develop a savings fund, right? Like the story of Agnes that we saw when the flood came and wiped out her materials and the charcoal business. She had saved money to get into another business, and she was able to dive into that cleaning supply business because she had saved money. Now look at event number 3. Event number 3 is fire destroys your finished goods or your products. What do? Well, you can develop a savings fund, right? Having savings is a critical way to plan for unexpected business disasters. Secondly, keep water or sand nearby so that if you're present when the fire comes, you can quickly put it out, right? So keep sand or water nearby. Event number 4 is what happens if there's a price hike on raw materials, if they raise the price on you. Any small business owner knows this one. From time to time, raw material suppliers are going to raise their prices, try to increase their profits, and perhaps their business costs have gone up. What are you going to do? How do you plan for that? Well, one way to do that is buy in larger quantity at a better price, right? You could maybe negotiate a better price if you take more inventory on. Plan for an alternative source of suppliers, right? Or in a different supplier, or an alternative supply, a substitute supply, substitute raw material that might be able to be used just as well in your recipe, in your product recipe, whatever it is that you're making. Develop a savings fund. Another way that's not on here that came to mind for me is you could have a pretty large inventory. If it has a large shelf life and you have enough money on hand to protect against price hikes, you can keep a greater amount of inventory so that when a price hike comes, you've still got another month or 2 or 3 of raw materials on hand before that price hike will affect you. And then 5th, the last event that they give us is a business similar to yours opens nearby. Competition, right? This is a reality in a free market. What are you going to do if more competition comes onto the market? Well, 1, maintain customer loyalty. Is there a way to have some sort of customer loyalty program? Is there something you can do in the way you give a customer experience, superior customer service, to keep your customers from going to the competition? Brainstorm on how to do that. Sell better products, right? You can sell a better product or maybe a more complete product line that will keep customers coming. Sell different products, right? Substitute products. So there's ways that you can brainstorm on how to compete against the new competitor. And that's something you're going to have to do as a small business owner. Now, you can see that different things can happen that might affect your business, right? Some things can hurt your business and others may be opportunity to grow the business. You need to be prepared for either case. One of the most important actions you take is to put money aside into a savings fund, right? You want to avoid that cash flow crisis. Cash flow, negative cash flow is what kills any business. You have to ensure that you have constant cash flow. The best way, if business goes down, maybe there's a natural disaster, is to have a savings fund on hand, a plan for that future crisis. Savings can give you the ability to respond to unexpected events, it says. The wise business person is always thinking about things that can happen and how to prepare for them. Now, in part 4, we summarize then, and we tell people that they have now completed, we tell your participants they've now completed part 6 of planning for a better business, right? Planning for unexpected events. So they have now completed section 1 of planning for a better business. They've gone through all 6 planning steps. And let's just review those for a quick moment. Number 1, you've got to examine your business idea. Make sure it's a sound business idea. And that involves number 2, which is talking to customers about the idea. Test the idea. Be respectful in the way you talk to your customers about that idea. Glean from them. Get ideas about how to get into that business and provide a unique customer experience, how to provide better customer service around the products or the service that you may be providing. Number 3, you've got to plan for your production, right? You've got to plan how to make production efficient. And here we talk about the 5 elements of the production chain, right? With things like labor and supplies and materials and workspace and so on. So you want to plan for the 5 categories of your production. And then you've got to talk about the 4th step, which is planning your production costs. Understanding what does it cost to operate your business, including short-term costs and long-term costs. If you have to replace equipment or rent more space to make your products, if your business is growing, you've got to plan for those things. And you want to look at how to reduce costs over time. Then number 5, find help for your business. How to employ people. Where are you going to get good workers? And how are you going to pay them? And how are you going to compete with other businesses to get workers? So planning for getting help for your business, for getting labor for your business is the 5th step in planning for your business. And then the 6th step is what we just covered, right? Planning for unexpected events. And we've just talked through some ways you can plan for unexpected events. One of the best ways for that is having a savings fund on hand. It's also good to remember that unexpected events can be both good and bad. They can help your business in some cases. In other cases, they can hurt your business. So you want to think through what are the things that could happen and how can I be ready for those? So that completes the 6 steps of planning for a better business. When we come back next time, we're going to talk about the 2nd section of the business handbook, and that is managing your business money. Managing your business money and good money management principles is so critical to an effective startup of a small business or managing or improving your existing business. I look forward to seeing you then when we come back for section 2, managing your business money. See you then.